Hey guys. So, this is gonna be, kind of a little bit of a longer story one, but I do need to tell this, and there a lot of these stories boil down to me just finding a good deal, um, and it's good. There's really no harm in it, but part of me wanting to do all of this is to try and shed some light into the actual experience. Like, there's been experiences where I've bought fake cards accidentally, or looked at the listing and it was more beat up than I anticipated. Like, I'm not sugarcoating anything, and I'm not a saint. And I'll explain why it's important that I'm telling you this. You'll understand the more I tell the story. So, and again, you can make your own judgments. This is what happened. But I figure I have to tell you the whole story. So here you go. So, in the town where I live in, there was a Pokemon trading card get together type thing. I saw an ad somewhere online. Or maybe, I forget. It might have been one of my parents. I think my mom might have suggested it or something like that. I think that might be it. At the library, and I'm like, oh, cool. So I went, and this was when I was like a junior or a senior in high school, and I went. I brought like a binder full of my doubles or my triples or whatever. And honestly, I didn't think anything of it until I came and I saw that I was essentially the oldest guy there. It kind of makes sense, right? No one would be my age playing with Pokemon cards, right, guys? Yeah. Anyway, the I basically brought the average age in that room up pretty high. I mean, I wasn't. There were some pretty, like, I think there was a freshman in high school there and a lot of eighth graders. But come on, I was pretty old to be at a Pokemon trading card place. So I walked around. I looked at some kids' binders and stuff, and I was just trying to look for cards that I thought were cool and didn't have. And so I found these. Actually, not that one yet. I found these cards. So I found this full art Mega Lucario EX. I've actually since gotten a lot of these. I found one for I'll get to that in another video, but I found one for $1 in at some yard sale. Obviously not in as good condition as this one. This is my best condition one, which has this small little like dot on the side. I don't know if you can pick that up. That's the only really blemish, though. A lot of it's good. But one of these, and I thought, this is pretty cool. This is a really cool alternate art. I'm a big fan. And I also was able to get this full art Melanie from I believe it's the Astral Radiance Trainer Gallery. That was pretty cool. Again, I was trading my doubles and triples, and like in previous videos, if you've seen my I have triples of EXs and stuff. Yeah, I trade like multiple of those EXs for this for some of these cards. I don't remember the exact trades. I didn't write them down, but So yeah, and then this card's, by the way, this card's beautiful. There's really nothing wrong with it. So that was my first time going, and I'm like, that's pretty cool. I didn't think anything of it. I thought, oh man, that was kind of weird trading with like middle schoolers, but I wasn't doing anything bad. I essentially went there, and half the time I ended up giving the kids some like free like reverse hollows or whatever. I don't care. They're my triples, and they don't really matter to me. Yeah. So they had another one, and this is when something kind of crazy happens. So I went, and I was able to get a couple cards. Actually, give me a second. Sorry about that. I remember getting two cards. I only brought up one. The second time I was able to get a couple cards, but I forgot one. First was this cool Mega Sharpedo EX. It's the next one my promo, and it was pretty cool. Again, I traded a variety of different things for it. Again, this is just trying to get cards I didn't have, and this card it's actually in pretty good shape. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, I don't have it, so, they, I don't know, it was cool to get it. And I also got this, Full Art Flapple. Not pretty, not that expensive. In fact, it's probably the sleeve and the top loader that I'm putting this in is probably more expensive than the card itself. But from the Astral Radiance Trainer Gallery, some nice art. Again, I don't only look for the valuable cards. It's what I show you the most valuable cards and I zone in on them. But I have just as much fun putting together the giant box full of commons and uncommons and sorting through them and stuff. So yeah. But I'm not making this video because of the cards I've just shown you. I'm making this video because of this card. This card is the reason why I stopped going. Not because I'm trading with middle schoolers. I mean, that's probably for the best anyway, but it's this card. I was looking through someone's binder, and this is, by the way, this happened before I found the other two cards. I looked through this kid's binder, and I'm flipping through stuff. It's about, Sun and Moon era, Sword and Shield era, reverse hollows, commons, uncommons. And then I find this. My heart kind of skips a beat. And I just, I ignore it. And then I go back and I authenticate it. And I basically look like I'm looking now. I take it out of the binder, and I mean, like, it's beat. That corner's destroyed. Lot of whitening on the sides, a lot of whitening. But this is actually what I'm surprised about, because I thought it's fake. It has to be fake. Why would it be in this kid's binder? And then I look at the wear and I go, oh, no, this is real. This is real. So I tell this kid, and then his sister comes over, and I tell him, I said, hey, look through my binder. He's looking through my binder. I said, look through my binder again and pull out anything you think looks cool. So him and his sister pull out 20, maybe 30 cards. And I tell them, I said, hey, you can take all of those cards. All I want is this one card. And they're ecstatic. They're like, oh my God, are you sure? Are you sure? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, oh man, this is great. Take it. Yeah, no, of course, no problem. And they're all excited. Everyone's excited because then they start trading with everyone else. Great. So what was the card that I got? In this kid's binder was Shining Gyarados from Shining Gyarados from Neo Revelation. Thank God it's not the first edition, because that would have been even more insane. But yes, this is the actual card that I got, and I traded for it with a kid at a library event in my town. Now, again, like I showed you, it's beat up, and it's not catching up on camera, but there's actually a large... Let me try and get it. No, it's difficult. But you can kind of see it there. Like in the middle of the card, there's like a gash or whatever, like down the side. But again, it's Shining Gyarados. Essentially the first, well, not the first, one of the earliest secret rares and one of the first shining cards. I was dumbstruck because, I mean, I gave them 30 cards, but they're 30 of my crappiest cards. I mean, let's be real. But I couldn't bring myself to tell them. I couldn't bring myself to not seize the opportunity. And I still feel guilty having this card around, but I feel like I'm vindicated somewhat by expressing this story and not keeping it to myself. It'd be easy to tell you I just found this somewhere for $1 or something, but the truth is worse. But I have to be honest. Now, again, don't get me wrong. I'm not reselling this, and it's obviously not worth, thousands of dollars, but it's Shining Gyarados, and it's at least worth I don't know, $50 or something, if you want to highball it, it'd be worth maybe $100 or $200, but I don't think so. It's pretty beat. I'm not reselling it, but it's still kind of rubs me the wrong way. I rationalize my thing like this. If I go to a flea market or yard sale, someone's actually selling me their cards, I don't feel too bad. If they price them how they want to price them, I'm giving them money and I'm taking this card, and then they use the money for something and I keep the card and whatever. It's a sale, right? I'm buying something. And if I get a good deal, that's cool. But it's kind of a gray area with kids. Because again, in some way you could argue, well, I was giving them a good deal. They turned one card into 30 cards, and some of them were pretty good cards they pulled out, but again, they're my triples, and it's hard to rationalize doing this kind of stuff with kids, or more generally, trading with kids who are misinformed. Anyway, so yes, and this is the only shining card from the Neo sets that I have so far, and this is the story behind it. You make your own judgments of what you would have done. Again, it still rubs me the wrong way, but this is probably one of the most iffiest cards in my collection. Every other card in my collection I've either opened from packs when I was a kid, or I've bought at flea markets, yard sales, etc., or online. But the cards that I've shown you, these cards, I've traded with kids for. And again, with these other cards, like with the Flapple, it's not a big deal, but the Shining Gyarados, it's a pretty crazy card, and I love it, man. It's great. It's a really, really cool card to have in my collection, even if it's beat up. But yeah. Thank you guys for listening. Sorry for going a little too long in this video, but the story, I needed to tell it. I needed to get this off my chest and write it down, because for every great story and awesome deal that I found, there's something like this that kind of dissuades me. The only good thing, and this is how I'll end it, this stopped me going. They've had numerous get-togethers before or after since I found this, and I can't bring myself to go back, because I never honestly thought I'd find a card as rare as Shining Gyarados at one of these things. And while I don't have the heart to tell the kid that this card's worth like $50 or $100, I also don't have the heart to go again, knowing that this is something I'd find. I don't want to be put in that position ever again. So, yeah. Anyways, again, thank you for watching. See ya.